I'm going to take you through my week 4 of The Artist's Way. Now this week felt a little bit less meaty than the other weeks. There wasn't quite as much to it actually, especially writing wise. Like her main part was just sort of self-indulgently telling you how amazing the morning pages are. So I know in my last videos I said that I was sometimes drawing and sometimes doing the morning pages. This week I just did 7 days of the morning pages, and still not a fan, unfortunately. The other part, the main part of this week, is a reading ban, and I've got to tell you, that was hard to do for the full 7 days. She calls it a reading deprivation week, saying that it gives you free time to pursue your interests by not reading. Now, bearing in mind this book was written a long time ago, so we have a lot more distractions than when this book was written. Like, reading, I think, is probably more encouraged than, say, scrolling through your phone or watching TV or gaming, or all the ways that we can be distracted in this digital era. So I tried to take this a bit literally and included sort of trying to not look at any social media, no Facebook, no Instagram. I'm not really a big user of it anyway, so that wasn't that difficult. But it did make me realise how much time I do look on there. The hardest part for me was not reading a book, because I'm right in the middle of a book, literally halfway where things just start to ramp up. So that was a bit annoying. So why might a reading deprivation week be beneficial? So we are always doing something. We are always busy. We always have a distraction. When you get in the car, the radio goes on. When you get home, you might put the TV on or sit on the sofa and scroll through your phone. God, even if you take a poo, you're probably looking at your phone while you're doing it. We always have some sort of mental stimulation going. So this week, the aim is to try and get rid of that white noise that just surrounds us and try and focus on you and how you feel and what you're thinking, and try and get back into your creativity flow that way by having less distractions. So I think in principle, I think it's a really, really good idea. It's just hard to follow through with. She says reading is an addiction, and that we want the words of others rather than our own. We need time to listen to our inner feelings and our thoughts rather than, like I said, being distracted by the words of others. And if we give ourselves time to listen to those thoughts and feelings, hopefully our art will come to the surface. Now, if you're not reading or scrolling or consuming some sort of digital media, what are you doing? Well, the idea is that you will start being more creative. She also says you will work, you will fill your time, and I did find other things to do. I was like a maniac this week. I did too much, really. I cleaned the carpets. I painted a table when you've got nothing else to do in the evening once the kids have gone to sleep. I was like, what can I do tonight? I guess I'll paint the table. I cleaned out all my wardrobes. I've got rid of about 6 bin bags of old clothes. All I had was my old horrible maternity clothes. So out they went. I did my son's clothes. I did my partner's clothes with a bit of gentle tug with his help. Yeah, all I did was I just cleaned and tried to bake things, and I did some more sewing. So I definitely did be more creative. Painting and drawing wise, I did probably about 3 days. I did a bit of painting, but I really mostly just focused on just cleaning my entire house. It was really weird. It's kind of like I was doing all the things that I'd put off doing. So that was one benefit of sort of reading deprivation. And you know what? I'm going to definitely carry some of this forward. I think we all spend a little bit too much time on our phone or watching YouTube or just whatever digital content it is. And I think it is good. I don't think you realise how much time you would have if you didn't do those things. And I didn't realise that until I did this week, because I got so much done. So I feel really positive about being quite productive. I don't know necessarily if it made me more creative. I don't think painting the table counted as creative. I just slapped it on there. It was quite cathartic though. And sewing, I guess, is sewing creative? Because you're following a pattern. It's more like crafting. I don't know. What do you think? Is sewing creative? And I mentioned that she talks about the morning pages, and she talks about the morning pages. Literally pages and pages of the first part of this chapter are just her saying how amazing the morning pages are. It's kind of like it's really hard to describe it. The way she's written is really floral. It's almost like reading a horoscope. It's like wishy-washy, and you kind of read the whole thing and you're like, what have I even just read? It's a very strange chapter. She mainly is saying that people abandon the morning pages when they feel something unpleasant happening, so working through their emotions, and rather than face writing the morning pages, you will say, oh, I'm not going to do that. The morning pages are the issue, I'm not the issue. One little nugget she includes in there that I really like is she says, if you want to work on your art, work on your life. You need a self to express. You need to be able to identify how you'll feel to put that into your creative endeavours. I think that's really true. So really this is all kind of will go back to like her kind of version of sort of therapy and finding out how you feel and being confident in yourself and limiting distractions and negative influences and all the stuff that's kind of been the theme of this book so far. I like that. I like that part. She says, creative life is grounded in reality, not fantasy. As we lose our vagueness about ourselves, our values and our life situation, we become more able to be creative and express ourselves, which is really what art is, really, isn't it? She says art is an encounter where we meet our truth and ourselves and our self-expression. You can see this is what I mean. It's quite florally language, isn't it? Some of it is way worse. I've just picked the quotes I liked. Some of it you're literally reading through and you're like, what does that even mean? She talks about how some people doing the artist way will feel like it's been like a car crash to their life and they're walking away in a daze, and others it just feels like clouds are clearing the sky kind of thing. So even if you feel like nothing is changing, it is changing. You just may not be that aware of it to begin with. She's very confident in her book, which is it's nice. It's nice. She's trying to convince you with a sort of positive mental attitude, I guess. One theme she kind of focuses on quite a lot is sort of like decluttering. She talks about getting rid of the old and bringing in the new, and getting rid of clothes you don't like and things in your space that make you feel overwhelmed. And I resonate with that because having 2 children, my house is just so constantly just a conveyor belt of messes that I am cleaning up, and it makes it very difficult for me to actually sort through stuff. And I found, because I had the reading deprivation week, I had time to do that. So I just got rid of everything. But I had this problem where I don't have loads of clothes. So I was throwing away multiple pairs of pyjamas, and now I've just got 1 pair of pyjamas. So I've had to sew myself another pair of pyjamas. So giving myself more work to do. But it's fun. I'm almost finished with them. I'm pretty good with decluttering in general. So if you're not, this could be a massive like, whoa, my house is full of crap. It definitely gave me the motivation to start working through some of the stuff I've piled up. And obviously I mentioned that I've had a difficult time recently. So I had let a lot of the housework slide, really. That's why I deep cleaned the carpet, because it probably wasn't as clean as I usually would be. I mean, I hadn't even put the washing away for days, literally days. So when I came to tackle it, it was like this huge task. But where I couldn't distract myself with my phone or anything, I just got on and did it. And actually, once you sort of get into things, it's nice to work through and finish stuff. So yeah, I like the reading deprivation week. This is really wishy-washy, but she says, the snowflake pattern of your soul is emerging. We blur it with alcohol, drugs, overwork, bad relationships, toxic sex, under-exercise, undersleep, TV, all junk food for the soul. She does slip in a bit of God here and there, but I'm just choosing to ignore it from here on out. Otherwise, I won't make it through this book. So I'm going to skip the Goddy parts. I'm not going to go on about that. Again, I went on about that for like 20 minutes in the last video, so I will spare you. I don't even really know how to summarise this week. It was just, the morning pages are somewhere to mind dump and get your emotions out so you're more aware of what your emotions are, and then minimise distractions in your life and really become comfortable with yourself and who you are so you can be more creative. She says, she kind of focuses back on affirmations as well a bit in this week. So the affirmation I picked is, a stronger and clearer me is emerging. There's a quick little exercise in there where she talks about buried dreams, and you have to do it sort of rapid fire without thinking too much about it. So she says, mention 5 hobbies you think are interesting. I picked open water swimming, diving, woodworking, fabric dyeing, upcycling furniture, and then she talks about 5 classes. I put pottery classes, oil painting, portrait painting, that kind of thing, like actual classes. Things I would never do but sound fun: skydiving, bungee jumping, diving, surfing. I've done surfing and I wouldn't do it again. And then 5 skills that you'd like to be good at. Pick bushcrafting, woodwork, building, animal husbandry, gardening. I could do bits of these things, but I'm extreme amateur level. And what I enjoy doing: playing with my children, seeing my friends, mountain walking, painting and drawing, sewing, and just being creative in general. And then 5 silly things I would like to try once. I literally dried up at this point. I was like, no idea. Next, we move on to the tasks. And to be honest, there's not that much I can share you this week about the tasks, because some of them were writing a letter to yourself when you're 80 or yourself as a child. What would you say to them? What does their life look like? And then with the younger version of yourself, what did you enjoy doing? Just a lot of sort of self-reflection again. One of them was talking about where's your ideal place to live. And I think mine would be a cottage in the countryside with chickens and a veg patch and just my own little private space to be sort of locked away from the world. There's nothing worse for me than a city. I hate cities. I deal with them and they do hold some interesting things, but I lived in the city for a little while in London when I did my placement at university, and just the noise. And I lived next to the hospital I was working at, so it was just woo woo all the time, even throughout the night. Like, because they're not really meant to put on the sirens that much. And if you're somewhere in a smaller city, you don't hear the sirens that much alike. But where London is so busy at night and full of cars, they still use the sirens. And I was really central. So anyway, I don't know why I'm going on a tangent again. But yes, cities are, no, not my jam. So stick me in the countryside any day. She then talks about looking at the house you're living in now. And can you make a private space for yourself? Now, I can't really. I live in an annex, so it's tiny and there's 4 humans living here. I do this stuff in my garage. It's really not glamorous, but it is my private space and it's quite a big space, so I'm happy with it. I've got plenty of room to move my easel around, to have multiple projects on the go. I've got a big table, and it's all like second hand and stuff, but it does the job and I'm happy with it. Now, is it a cozy space? Not really, and winter is coming, so it's about to get really cold in here, so I'll be having the little fan heater on. But, I mean, I could cozy it up a bit. I had a look, but I need to wait till payday, but I could get a few pillows and bits, I've got candles that I actually got out the other day as a prompt from this. Just make it a bit more homely, so I could do that, and I guess that's to try and, if you've got somewhere comfortable that you can create, you're more likely to create. It's why I like to keep sort of my stuff easy access on the shelves right next to me, so that when I come to create something, I can just grab it and go. The next one, she said, look at your life pie from week 1, review if there's been any growth. I would say some areas I've grown, but some of them I think have gotten a bit worse just because of what I spoke about last week, sort of my personal issues. So I'm not quite sure. I'm hoping by the end I can say, oh yes, my life pie has grown brilliantly, but at the moment it's not really changed that much. She says, write your own artist prayer, which I did that, I already spoke to that one about, and plan a small vacation for yourself, 1 weekend date. Now, I haven't done that. Oh, I guess it says plan. Didn't say you have to do, so maybe I could still do it. But obviously with 2 kids and life and everything and work, and I can't really give myself an entire day. It wouldn't really be fair on my partner. You know, we do give each other time, but this was one. So I feel like I'm sort of failing a bit this week, like not completing them all. But although this one I actually think I did too well. Open the closet and throw out or hand on 1 low worth outfit. Now, I completely destroyed my entire wardrobe, so literally bags and bags. So I definitely did that task. Maybe that makes up for the ones that I wasn't so good at. And this one I was a bit like, what? 1 situation in your life you should change but haven't. Now, I think with a lot of big things that you want to change, they take time. They take a lot of time. So I think my big situation would possibly be moving somewhere bigger, but that takes a lot of time. I have to be working more hours, my children need to be older. So I've got an idea of where I'm going, if that makes sense, but it's not things that I can just do overnight. They will take me probably years at this stage to actually achieve, but I've got them in sight. So maybe she just wants you to be aware of situations in your life you're not happy with and want to move forward with. So I think I've got that one down. And the last one, did you break reading deprivation? Yes, I did, twice. I went on Facebook a couple of times because there was party invites on there. So I used it for that. I didn't like scroll through though. I just used it to find information that I needed. And the other one is, I read a bit of my book. I just wanted to know what was going to happen. My 1-year-old has been really, really teething. Like, he doesn't get one tooth at a time. He's got 4 at once. So he's really grumpy, and at night he wakes up a bit. So I've had to lay in bed with him, whereas usually I might sit upstairs and watch TV or clean the whole house this week. But if I'm laying in bed, it can be really boring, like just laying there staring at the dark ceiling. So I kind of need a distraction because I'm kind of like nap trapped essentially. So I did read my book in bed and I have no regrets because they were good chapters. And really, that was kind of it for week 4. I definitely feel like there's a little bit less in there than some of the other weeks, or maybe I've just not done it as well. And it felt weird not doing, my artist date was the sewing that I did. So, and it felt weird not doing like one of the boxes of things that I had been doing, like something actually, I know sewing is creative, but more what I think of myself as being more creative, like painting or drawing, where I'm focusing more and piecing stuff. I don't know what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it felt weird that my artist date wasn't a bit more arty in that way. Anyway, I will see you for week 5 next week. Thanks for watching.